When I say embodied relationship to emotion, I guess it kind of is a fancy way of saying being able to notice your emotions in your body, right? So every emotion comes with physical sensation. And a lot of the time, our body starts to have sensation around an emotion before our mind realizes that that's what we're feeling. Right? So frequently our body is actually giving us information about what we're feeling when our mind is still like confused and distracted and overstimulated, right? So but caveat, right? If we have learned in our life to push sensation away, if we've learned to ignore what our body feels like, if we've learned to ignore messages from our body, and there are lots of ways to learn that through trauma, but also through things like dieting, right? Things like kids being in a position where they're like, I'm not cold, put this coat on. I'm not cold. Yes, you are, right? All these little things and big things that happen to our kids that tell them, don't pay attention to your own body, pay attention to some outside authority instead, right? Often are disembodying our kids. So they learn to push away or ignore their physical sensations. And when they do that, they lose a part of their capacity to understand their emotional experiences. Because the embodied experience of our emotions is a big part of how we make sense of what we're feeling. Right? So when I talk about this embodied relationship to our emotions, it's our ability to notice what's going on with our body, be curious about it, get information from it. And then if we can do that, we can also realize that this is a two-way street, right? Our body gives us information. We can also give our body information, right? Through self-talk. We can also go for a walk or do some yoga practice or dance, right? And change the physical sensations in our body, right? To help us change our emotional experience of the situation. Right? So there's a lot of ways that we can work with our body, but oftentimes our kids are working against their body by trying to just shut it off, shove it down. They kind of lock up and freeze instead of recognizing, oh, these are sensations related to an emotion, right? And I can listen to them, and then I can create different sensations and notice if anything changes. Right? So I hope that answers the question or starts to answer it. Now, the second part of that question, like how can we get more embodied? How can we practice embodiment? There's two really important things that we can do as parents, as caregivers. One is day to day in daily life, we can teach our kids to honor the messages of their body. So, not pushing kids to eat more when they say they're full, which I admit I have a really hard time with, right? But things like when it's safe, right? Is it safe to not wear a coat? Okay, let it go, right? We want to encourage our kids to notice what's happening in their body. When they're playing, dancing, moving, we can ask them questions like, what do your legs feel like right now, right? We're just trying to reconnect or deepen the connection between their mind and their body. And by that, I just mean their ability to notice physical sensation in their body. So anything that we can do to bring that out, to get them asking themselves how they feel, when they express a feeling, honor that need as much as possible, right? They don't want to sleep in pajamas. Is it because you get hot at night? All right, no big deal. That's important information, reinforcing the idea that you know your own body better than anyone else does. That's a message our kids don't often get. And then, of course, we can intentionally practice. Right? We can do yoga practices and be asking kids, what part of your body feels like it's working hard right now? What part of your body feels like it's stretching? Does any part of your body feel like it's relaxing? Right? And we can use the movement practices that we offer them as a way to explore physical sensation. And all of that will strengthen their capacity to notice what's happening in their body. And once they can notice it, they can start to learn about how moving their body in different ways actually sends information to their mind. Right? It helps them see themselves differently, helps them experience life differently.